Okay, so here is the agenda for August 10th. Today we are going to finish up with the phase change diagram, and we're going to finally touch on plasma. Once we do that and address any questions from the presentation, then we're going to go into our breakout activities, and these activities will fall on pages 18 through 21. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over each one at this time so that way you know what it looks like and where to put it in your notebook. Alright, so for page 18, we have the vocabulary you need to know foldable, and it looks like this. You'll get a handout with all the definitions already done, and then you'll get another sheet, which is your foldable. What you'll do, you'll go ahead and cut off the outside border. Then you'll take your foldable and fold it. And then once you do that, you will get something like this. And then you'll just cut each strip. Okay, so once you cut the strips, they should open up like this. Now, you'll take that list of definitions, and now based on what we've done this week, we've looked at a lot of these topics, so a lot of these definitions and descriptions you should already be able to pick out. You'll find a definition, and you'll locate the term that it applies to, and you'll simply glue it down in that section. Once you're done doing that for all of your terms, then you will glue it down. You'll glue it down this side into your notebook, and that's page 18, and then it's done. The next one is page 19. Does matter really matter? And your TDQs. For this particular one, you're going to do a close read. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so here's our article. It came from the website Wonderopolis. What you're going to do is this. You're going to fold. Do not cut off any of the excess. We're making a little booklet. Then you're going to use your close reading strategies. Now remember, those close reading strategies, we had those little cards, like they look like Post-its, and they had the question mark, the circle, the underline, the infinity symbol, and you're going to take those icons or symbols and you're going to put them throughout your reading. So of course you do your reading first, then you reread looking for all your unknown terms and phrases. Reread again, look for the things that you know you need to know on this topic, and remember we've been talking a lot about this week. Then look where you can make connections. Maybe there's something you don't know, add a question mark, or it brings on another question, add a question mark. And then the new one that we haven't done yet is the check mark, where you are confirming evidence that supports questions. The reason why we're doing that check mark now is because we officially have our first set of questions. Okay, they're called your TDQs, your text-dependent questions, and what you're going to do is answer the question by going back into the text, looking for the answers. Okay, and since this is our first go-around, I've already tried to start you off with some sentence starters, so you'll just continue your sentences. Now, question number 3 is really unique because you're going to use information in the reading to actually help you answer this question. Okay, so the question here says, the sun is an example of matter. Is sunlight also an example of matter? You're going to use evidence in the reading to support your answer. So based on the information you have in the reading, what is your position? Now, we dabbled with the CER writing model last week, but I wanted to go ahead and again show you a quick anchor chart that you can keep in your notebook, or a little cheat sheet, if you will, on the claim, evidence, and response. So when you're writing your answer for number 3, you definitely want to make sure that you come back and you apply these 3 techniques into that response. Okay, so you're going to tell me your claim. You're going to tell me if sunlight is an example of matter or not. Then you're going to tell me your evidence. So you're going to go back into the text, find the information that supports it, and then give me your reasoning. Okay, explain how that evidence supports what you think. All right, so that's the does matter really matter activity that we're going to secure onto page 19. Then on page 20, we have the changes of state activity. With this particular activity, because we have pictures, it means we're going to add some color. So let's take a look at that one now. Alright, so for this particular activity, we have two different papers. We have all our cards that we need to color, and then we have our chart. Okay, so we have our initial state, so I've already put the pictures in for the initial state. Then you need to tell me if you're going to add or remove heat. Alright, so your adding or removing heat pictures look like these. Then once you add or remove heat, what's your new state of matter? So again, what you're looking for are pictures that look similar to these, but now you'll have different ones over here because we're going from this state to some other state. From this state to another state. From this state to another state. And then from this state to another state. Okay, so those state pictures will be on your yellow sheet. Then, once you've done that, now you can tell me which change of state that represents in this final column. So, our choices are evaporation, freezing, melting, and condensation. Okay, so those are the four that will go in this column right here. Once you've done that, you'll glue this paper. Of course, you'll probably have to trim it to fit in your notebook, but you'll glue this paper onto page 20 of your notebook. Alright, yes, so page 20. Again, don't forget to add color to those pictures. Then finally, we have States of Matter Jenga, which is something new I'm trying this year. And let's see if I can grab a box really quickly. I'm doing a mini version of that, so let's take a look. Each bucket will come with a set of directions. Okay. Then you'll have some blocks, and then each person that's playing the game will get a handout. Alright? So, just because it's new, we're going to try to do it in a simple way. You'll set up your blocks, and they're going to kind of alternate in direction. So, I'll set them up quickly right here with just 2 rows. So I had them vertical on the bottom, and then my next row was horizontal. Okay, and I keep stacking, so I put the next color and then the final color. Alright, and then, well, let's move it over here for a little bit. And then what you're going to do is this. So you'll need to decide who's going to start the game first. When you play the game, that person's going to decide what block they want to move. Let's say I want to move a green block. So if I want to move that green block, then, and I guess this will be better if I have just a couple more. Alright, there we go. So I want to move a green block. So before I can move that green block, I have to answer a corresponding question. So since I want to move a green one, I'm going to start with the first question on the sheet. So it says, when a solid changes to a liquid, what is it called? I'm going to write my answer. Once I write my answer, then everybody else in my group must agree with my answer before I can move the block. If there's some discrepancy with the answer, then we have to take a break and figure out what the right answer is before we can actually move the block. Once we agree to the answer, then we try and move the block without causing the rest of the blocks to topple over, and then we can put it back on the top. Okay? Then it's the next player's turn. And you keep playing until we have all the question answered, or if the blocks get toppled over. And if the blocks get toppled over, unlike the original game where you lose, we just build it back up again so we can finish off answering all the questions. And you have 18 questions that you have to answer on this list. Okay? So, that's how we'll play Jenga. Now, Jenga will only be played on Wednesday and Friday. So we won't play it on Thursday. Okay? We'll resume. Anyone who doesn't get a chance to play it on Wednesday will get a chance to play it on Friday. Then class will wrap up with a Clickers review. And that's it for your agenda today.